and there's everybody. So we're excited to kind of launch the new, we're already thinking about next school year. I'm sure it's not quite at the top of your list, but it's the top of our list. And we really wanted to give you a firsthand customer glimpse of what we're doing new. Lauralyn's been very busy getting everything cleaned up and ready to go and shiny new. And I think a little more high level for next school year. So I will go to turn it over to Lauralyn. Lauralyn, take it away, and I'll come back in at the end and talk about our special referral offer.
Fabulous. So everyone, I am Lauralyn Vasquez. There's many of you that I haven't met. I am not new to the overall of BTE. I've been around since the beginning. I've been a teacher at some of their schools. I've helped write curriculum. I've helped in sales. And just kind of had my hand in a little bit of everything with BTE over the years. I've been a curriculum writer for 30 years and I love it. Absolutely love it. And I was really honored when BTE said, hey, Lauralyn, do you think you could step in with this year's curriculum? So we did this year's curriculum a little bit different. We have a team and I'm going to be introducing them in a minute, but BTE has been at work. And we've got a slogan this year that we've said, technology is always changing and we're here to help. When I did my first one-to-one school about 10 years ago, it was right when the iPads, and actually it was the phones, or not the phones, the name just left me. There was just music, right? iPods had just come out. And so that was what we deployed as our first one-to-one. Well, technology has changed a lot. In fact, we don't even use iPods anymore. They're now iPads. And but all along, BTE is wanting to help and jump into the game and keep schools up and running with regards to BTE. So we know that our curriculum is always changing. And so something that we're introducing this year that we're really excited about is partnerships. We have partnerships, we have expert writers, and we have expert instructors. And so we're going to be sharing with you a little bit about those. I'm giving you a little teaser here with the slide with Canva, CodeStop, Formation Tech, and then the others that you are familiar with, Apple, Google, and Microsoft. So these are the things that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the fact that we've got more grade level curriculum. We're going to be talking about the actual technology that we are putting into the curriculum as curriculum is growing and changing. Canva.com, design thinking, which some of you may have heard about, CodeStop, an HTML language that we are going to be launching. Well, the language isn't launching, but it's part of our curriculum. And the new character themes that we're going to have. We're streamlining things and making them hopefully simpler for all of us, a little less redundancy, and just a refresh of some ideas and key concepts that we have. So let's start off first talking about our grade level curriculum. So there are many of you who have been with BTE for a long time. Monica, you've been with us for 15 years now, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is so incredible. So you've seen our technology, our curriculum continue to evolve and grow, which is really fun to have you be a part of that. So this year we have added 3 grades to our curriculum. So before we had our curriculum divided up into colors. We had green, we had blue, we had orange, we had red, and depending on the different grades. Well, now we have dedicated kindergarten curriculum, first grade curriculum, second grade curriculum. So K through 8 grade curriculum. So with that, that's 3 grades have actually been added to it. Each grade has its own 4-unit curriculum. So we had a theme last year, or in the years prior, that was like a 1-year theme. So character development, responsibility. We would take one theme and that would be weaved throughout all the curriculum. Well, now we've broken it up. We're going to have 4 themes throughout the curriculum. So that's just going to give a little less redundancy. We heard you guys talking, saying, okay, we're kind of getting tired of this theme by the end of the year. And as a writer, I can't imagine, because I'm I'm done with the theme in, the 9 weeks of a unit as it is. So I think that's a definite positive feedback that you guys gave us that we've been able to introduce and submerge into the curriculum. So each grade is going to have its own 4-unit curriculum, with each unit having a different theme in it. Each grade has essential vocabulary. So we're a school, we're educators. And when it comes to graphic design, when it comes to coding, when it comes to data analytics, there's actual vocabulary that our students need to use. And we want our students to be educated in not just how to do, but actually the academics behind it. So that's something we're going to be using some different technologies that we have. Quizlet is one. And so the quizzes and the vocab's already going to be set up for you. It's just going to be an extra link, and value added is what I call it for you guys if you want to quiz your students on vocab as well. And then we were going to have fewer templates. So one of the things that we noticed was a lot of templates, and we are all about computational thinking, right? That's what we're training and working with our students on, problem solving. So we don't need to give them, especially these upper grades, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, every step 1, step 2, step 3. We want them looking at the toolbars, looking around the software, and coming up with, how do I do this next? In the real world, they're not going to have people walking them through step by step and holding their hand. We want our students to be able to know how to open a Google Doc, not just go from a template, and to start from the beginning. So you'll notice in the upper grades that there's going to be fewer templates, more focus on computational thinking and problem solving. We also are going to have more collaboration. So there's going to be peer editing. We spent some time talking with people in the field, whether it was programmers, coders, whether it was data analysis. I talked to some math experts and said, what do you think these kids need in this day? Graphic designers, what do you need? And they said, problem solving. One of the things that they have is this one company that I talked with, they are bringing in high schoolers for internships, which is super cool. They said, but our high schoolers don't know how to problem solve. They're waiting for the teacher to instruct them. So we want to really encourage and give opportunities for that problem solving to happen in the computer lab. So when they are with the technology teachers, whether it's the classroom teacher or a standalone teacher, we want to give them the opportunity to really be problem solving from there and collaborating. So you're going to see peer collaboration in a lot of the projects. You're going to need to share your graphic design, your document, your sheet, whatever it is, with a peer and edit and give feedback and be able to listen to that feedback, because that's another skill that the experts shared with us that kids really struggle with. They struggle with hearing that feedback from their peers. So they'll hear it from a teacher. They'll hear a teacher like, oh, I didn't do good on that. Oh, okay. But to be able to hear it from a peer, and the feedback's not always negative, right? It could be like, oh my gosh, it'd be so cool if you added such and such to your design, or I love that part of your design. Can I use it in my design? And to be able to have those collaborative moments of students really talking and working together. And we're also infusing new technology, and I'll be talking about the partnerships, more specifics on this, but you see for middle school, we are going to be having HTML, an actual language being taught instead of just the block coding, so that the students are getting some real world experience. Stop motion is something that we did have in our curriculum this year. There's going to be more of that, just more advanced tools along with that. The screencasting, voiceover, which is really cool. Students are going to be able to not only creating their how-tos, but with their vlogging and their blogging that we'll have, and then virtually recorded presentations. Presentations are important, right? Especially in the Zoom world now, we are giving presentations all day long virtually. And so to be able to really work with the students on how to give those presentations is important. And you're going to see that in the curriculum next year. Whoops, went the wrong way as I'm talking about giving a presentation. All right, so the first partnership that I want to talk about with us is CodeStop. So Ernie connected with the owner of CodeStop, and CodeStop has a beautiful story. So CodeStop, a few years back, he realized, so he was a programmer and a business owner, and he needed to hire programmers and coders and couldn't find them with the actual skills that he needed. And he said, there's a lot of, classes out there, online stuff that people are doing, but it's really not teaching them exactly what it is. It's teaching them coding, but not in a way that translates into the real world. And so he worked with the team. They created this ed tech company to teach this, but they also wanted it to be in mind that at the end of the day, when the students are done with these modules, that they will be able to take their resume and put it into a bank for real world people to see it. So we can have students that are done with these modules actually be able to create their resume, put it into a bank of resumes to be able to called upon to be able to get jobs, which we think is a really exciting partnership to be able to have and to be able to share, so that it's not just the block coding, it's not just theoretically for a computer science class that they can do well and better in next year or later on in life, but they're getting real world programming instruction that will potentially could translate into a job with them. Now, in talking with CodeStop, they thought it was hilarious, along with the skills, you also got to have some maturity, but we have middle schoolers that can gain these skills and grow in their maturity for that job in high school, even they have. So we found that was super exciting. And then Canva. We've had so many conversations with Canva. Is there anybody here on this recording that has had experience with Canva to this point? If you have, just go ahead and put it in the chat. Let us know. Canva has been really fun to work with this year. They are exciting, but they're still kind of a startup. So they're very personable with us, and they're changing the way that graphic design is being done. They are a game changer when it comes to, they're giving Adobe a run for its money. I never thought that was possible, but it is happening right now. And so they've got all new features for educators and for students. And so our students are going to be creating some pretty dynamic projects for us, which is going to be really neat to see. So I'm going to go into a little bit more with the two companies, Canva and CodeStop. So Canva, one of the things that your students are going to be learning is the principles of design thinking and the principles of graphic design, which are two different things. So in the design world, there is a way and a philosophy to create, and we're creating with the end user in mind. We're not creating because, hey, we got something really cool we want to share, but we're actually stopping and thinking, okay, what is it that the people on this call are going to need as a takeaway? What is it that the person using this flyer, this infographic, is going to need? Who is my end user? And there are skills behind growing that idea of the end user in mind. And that is a real quick summary of design thinking. So in our curriculum, our students are going to be developing those skills for design thinking, not designing for designing's sake, but designing for a purpose with the end user in mind. We're going to be going over the principles of graphic design, why you use color, the shapes, the size, the fonts, right? If you use too many fonts, it looks wonky. How does the layout, is it visually appealing? And what is the philosophy behind all that? The littles love to use 25 different fonts as possible and with all the different colors, and wow, that's great. So, and that's fine for our littles, but as they mature and grow, for the students in the older grades to really understand the principles of design, typography, layout, layering and grouping, and the coloring and the backgrounds, and how to do all that. So that's going to be in our curriculum. And with CodeStop, the HTML language. Now, what's important is every year we're going to be adding a language for the middle school. So this year or next year, the curriculum is going to be 6th, 7th, and 8th are all going to be learning HTML language. And we have a new employee with us, Morgan. She's on the call today. She's really helping us shape and design this, and it's exciting, and she's having fun. And so she's been piloting it this year with some of her students. And so next year, 6th, 7th, and 8th will have that. And then the following year, we'll introduce a second language, and the third year, another language. And and we'll evaluate at that time. So eventually the kids, 6th, 7th, and 8th will have 3 different languages in that 9-week unit that they will have experience with, which is really cool. And again, this is a real world language, real world applications for them. The students will be having actual coding journals. So right now we've been doing a journal online, right? That they've also been learning how to manipulate, and they've been learning some vocabulary and some of the basic stuff, but our students are going to have actual journals because that's what the real world does. That's how they walk around. I was thinking the other day, we used to have the pocket protectors with the little notepad and the little pens that they would write in. Well, coders and programmers and people in this field, they're actually carrying around journals to write things down because it's how we think. We have seen in education how important writing is, kinesthetically, that it helps us connect with our brain. And they know that. They know that that's exactly how to do. So it's not necessarily always just everything digital, but there's something about kinesthetically writing in order for us to remember. And so all of our coding was still going to be combined with our character traits that we continue to talk about. Grit is going to be one that we'll be having with our coding. And then at the end of the unit, there's going to be a project or an exam. And we haven't had assessments at the end of our coding at this point, but we will be having that. There's going to be a project or an exam that they will be doing. And then each year adding a language. So the importance of character. For 20 years, BTE has been centered around character, and we have 9 elements of digital citizenship that are kind of talked about there. They're everywhere when you're Googling digital citizenship or you're working with Etsy or any of the programs out there. They talk about digital citizenship. It is a top conversation, not only for kids, but also for adults. We know the importance of digital citizenship, and we've seen the importance when there's not healthy digital citizenship and how destructive it can be, not only with our kids in the classroom, but also with adults. I mean, let's talk about 2020, how difficult that was. So it has been highlighted more than ever, the importance of digital citizenship. And so that is weaved throughout. And digital citizenship is more than just cyberbullying. It is talking about, fake news. How do we discover fake news? How do we find it? Adults struggle with deciphering what is real and what is fake. And so we've taken a pretty strong dive into that with the curriculum this year with our middle school students to really be able to understand research, to be able to cite their work and to be able to see, gosh, let's find if there's 3 sources that will validate this one, not just taking the first article that they see and, oh gosh, this is a great one, which could legitimately be a fake news. And we're talking about social media as well, and helping students navigate social media. They're on it. It affects our schools, it affects their lives. And so we want to spend time really talking about social media and in the realm of digital citizenship. They're not going to be on social media in our curriculum, but we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be talking about copyright laws. You just don't copy and paste something and put it into a presentation or out in the world. You've got to give credit to where credit's due. We're seeing some really popular artists get in trouble for breaking copyright laws and stealing stuff, plagiarism, whether it's in a book and a song or in a graphic design. It's important that we talk about this. So those laws and the importance of passwords and password protection. It's easiest if everybody just has one password in a classroom. But let me tell you, as the kids get older and they continue to go through, you're going to have those kids that are curious. What would happen if I hacked into somebody's email, right? And so we are showing kids how to protect themselves, how to set themselves up to have high digital citizenship, digital literacy, a strong, healthy digital footprint. These are some of the elements of digital citizenship that we will be talking about with the students. And here's the 9 elements: digital commerce, digital communication, literacy, etiquette, law, digital rights and responsibilities, digital health and wellness, digital security, and digital access. So we will be talking about these 9 characters, these 9 traits of digital citizenship in our curriculum throughout the grades. that we have. And then last today, I wanted to, not last, this next, I wanted to talk with you about our guiding principles. And we had a former employee that had been with us for a really long time. And as she was just doodling one day, she came up with these are our guiding principles. And we all looked at it and we went, yes, yes, they are. And this is what guides us in our creation of our curriculum. That really sets us apart, I believe, from the other companies that are out there. We talked about the beginning of this call, computational thinking. This is what we really we strive to help our students grow in, is that computational thinking, digital literacy, computer competency, curious innovation. We want them thinking, exploring, discovering, digital citizenship, social and emotional development. That's our character development, student collaboration, working together in teams with one another, and creative design. And so now I want to open it up for questions, but I actually want to talk about two more companies really quick that we have partnered with. We have partnered with a technology company that actually helps with hardware and software called Formation Tech. They have been dynamic. They have been incredible. Some of you guys may be working with them already. It is our honor to be able to give them shout outs every day because of their professionalism and how they come into a school and really are just dynamic and making that school up, run well, efficient, high-speed internet, whatever it is that you need, they're there for you. And then Curriculum Map, which is a company that actually maps out all your curriculum. They've mapped out ours. We're seeing them with other schools, and it's an incredible tool to have. So we're really thrilled to be able to have both of those companies working alongside with us. So now I want to open it up to any questions that you guys have.
Well, everyone's opening up their microphone. Go back one slide, Lauralyn.
Mm-hmm.
This is powerful. This is, I like how you highlighted this because it is important to kind of differentiate our approach from other approaches. Yes, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that our students have skills to be productive in school today, in high school and college tomorrow into the future, and then be ready for the real world. And these items, you're not going to find another company that brings this together the way that we do it. And it's interesting that I just had this conversation with the client the other day, and their school board wanted to see a competitor and do an analysis. And I had to rack my brain. We don't have any direct competitors. There's no one that does it the way we've done it. And, I think part of it is the fact that we've been doing it for 20 years. If you didn't attend our last webinar, our 20-year kind of celebration webinar, there's really very few companies, let alone education companies, let alone ed tech, that could say they've been doing this 20 years. And that really gives us a unique perspective. We've seen trends, we've seen fads come and go, but we've locked into, I think, the critical elements that are going to make students successful now and into their futures. And that's what we're all about, making sure that they're prepared. And as Lauralyn said earlier, technology changes every day. We're here to help. And these are kind of placeholders so that we know how to help in different situations. But anyway, let's open it up. I see people on. Let's see, Morgan, did you have a question?
Yeah, are there any questions out there with anybody on?
I'm looking at the chat.
Well, Ernie's looking at the chat. I also want to throw something out. We are doing a giveaway today, a free curriculum of free projects. So if you are here on the call today live, you are getting one. So go ahead, and then we're breaking it up into K through 3, 4 through 5, 6, 7, and 8. So go ahead and tell me what grade you would like your free project to come in, and we will get that sent to you. Will there be PD for teachers? Yes, absolutely. We have PD next year for teachers. We are in person. We are live. I will come to you. I will fly to you. I will drive to you. I will do whatever it takes to get to you next year. I can't wait to meet people in person. I am an extrovert to my core, and I just want to love on teachers and come and support. Any questions at all? So who here is thrilled about the coding? Do I have any shout outs? Is there anybody excited about the coding for next year? And mind you, we are going to be educating and training the teachers as well. So there's no fear here. You guys are going to have all the tools that you need to be equipped for the coding.
So Lisa asked a question about pricing. This is one thing, Lisa, that we're kind of happy about, but sometimes it gets challenging. We don't really work from a price list. It's everything that we do is kind of bespoke to the needs of the client. For your school, yeah, I think there's basically 5 categories to what we do. There's the professional development category, which includes assessment and support for classroom teachers. That's one. The second is our computer science curriculum, which we kind of took a deep dive on that just right now. That's, the grade specific lesson plans. Those are designed for either computer teachers or classroom teachers. I wouldn't say it's for a beginning classroom teacher. It's for a classroom teacher that's somewhat technology literate, but we will train and support them as well. So PD, computer science curriculum. The third category is our custom integration projects, which we get a lot of mileage from this. It's when teachers have just a great idea on something technology integration that they want to do in their classroom, and they either don't have the time or the ability to build it. We will actually meet with that teacher, pick their brain on their idea, toss around some ideas, go out, do the research, and create a lesson built around their idea that achieves everything that they're hoping for. Those are all custom based on the needs of a school or a teacher. The fourth area is technology support, and this is where we actually will work with schools and help them maintain their equipment, upgrade their networks, in many cases even help them get the best pricing for Chromebooks or servers or whatever it is, presentation systems in the classroom. And the fifth area is project management. Someone like Lauralyn from our team that plugs in and just make sure that we manage the whole project. We're very much a consultative type environment. Again, we don't work from a price list. We look at our filter, the swim grid model, and look at your problem and provide a solution from there. So that's probably more information than you asked for, Lisa, but hopefully it answers your question.
I'll answer part of that, Lisa. The pricing I gave you a couple of weeks ago for curriculum is the pricing. We haven't raised our pricing on it. We've just made it better, and we've added 3 more grades. So there's no increase in the curriculum right now. It's as we've given it to you.
Thank
That
you.
answer?
Thank you. Yes.
But we'd love to talk to you about more of the PD also. It sounds like you're interested.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yep. Other questions? Because I do have one more thing I want to talk about before we log off, but anyone from the team, from the BTE team that has something they want to say about the new direction?
I can chime in on the coding for the HTML. Sorry about the noise. There's a after school program in my classroom.
Not a problem.
The coding's been going really good, and we've been pairing it with grit. So students are actually doing discussion boards to better prepare them for college and high school, because the more competitive high schools, and I know at least in undergrad and all the way through my master's program, I had to do discussion boards, are on grit, and students are actually taking them very seriously, where they're saying, now they know they need to believe in themselves. They're understanding that effort is more important than talent. And they're even writing positive affirmations, not only about themselves, but to their classmates. So it's been really interesting, not just seeing their growth as programmers, but seeing their growth as tiny humans as well. It's been really cool.
Thank you for that, Morgan. And Morgan has been leading the charge on our new programming direction. And she just graduated from her master's program. Congratulations on that, Morgan, this last weekend. So she's on fire right now. I hear in all her messages at all hours of the night. I get them all. So good for you. So what I wanted to announce for clients and staff is that we do have a referral program, and not a lot of people are aware of it, but we're at that time of the year where we are locking down partnerships with schools for next school year. And our referral bonus starts at $1,000, depending on the size of the partnership. So if you know a school, if you know a teacher that works at a school that is interested in making their technology program better and is interested in talking to us, if that works out, we have this referral bonus for you. Just, let me know if who that person is, that school, that principal, that teacher, and I'll do the heavy lifting. You just make the introduction and I'll work it from there. And then, yes, Sue, we could send you the slides after the meeting, not a problem. Actually, I'm videotaping this, so it's all recorded and your name's on there now. So Sue Kennedy will get that. And Lauralyn, did you get everyone's name down for the projects you're going to be sending them?
I did. So make sure everybody, I see a couple that, Lisa, did you put on some free projects I can give you? What grades would you like to sample? I can give you some free projects.
Okay, I'll do that.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect.
Give me the grades that you teach that you're the most interested in, and I'll put that down.
Yeah, and so I hope you notice that our goal is to be better communicators of everything we do. I've been talking about this forever, getting out of our bubble. We really want to make sure that customers, staff, everyone involved in the success of Beyond Technology Education is kind of plugged in as we evolve and move forward and grow our products and services. A lot of the things that we're doing came from you guys, from your suggestions, from your desires. And our goal is to fine tune our program every year and make it better and more applicable to students and teachers. So I think we're doing that. And I guess is that it for everyone? Anyone want to make a final comment, question, or concern?
There's a question I see from Lisa here. I'm not sure what it is. 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade.
Oh, she's telling us what samples she'd like.
I got you.
Got it. Anybody else? Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, I guess that's it.
I got one more thing I didn't even say. We've got a shout out as to who's joined our writing team this year. Not only is it Morgan with the coding, but we also have Monica has stepped up this year, and she's been with us for 15 years, and she's been an incredible asset to the writing. So she has helped with just about every single lesson that we've got coming out this year. So that's exciting. So thank you.
Thank you, Monica, for stepping up. And what's kind of funny is, Lauralyn is finding slowly but surely all the different skill sets that we have on our own team. And I think was it Philip that we saw something the other day? Where Lauralyn wasn't even aware of your background, Philip, from that email you sent me. So we have a very well-rounded team this year with a lot of opportunity to tap into that knowledge and take things onwards and upwards. So with that, I will leave you. Have a great evening. Thank you for your time. Lauralyn, thank you for the presentation. I think you're doing a great job with curriculum, and I'm really excited to see it in schools next year. So let's go, team.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. You're welcome.